Welcome back to Gold Derby. Today we're going to talk about our predictions for some of those creative arts categories that are going to be on the second night of the Creative Arts, which is Sunday, September 4th. This is the ceremony that's going to focus more on scripted shows like dramas, comedies, limited series, whereas the first night was more about variety, reality, documentary, stuff like that. I am Marcus James Dixon, and I'm here with Denton Davidson and Daniel Montgomery. And let's start right away with the big four categories that everybody cares about, the guest stars. Daniel, drama guest actress. Let's start with that one. The nominees are Lee Yu-mi for Squid Game, Harriet Walter, Succession, Hope Davis, Succession, Marcia Gay Harden, The Morning Show, Martha Kelly, Euphoria, and Sana Lathan, Succession. Who do you have winning and why?
This is a tough one just because with the guest acting categories and all acting categories, really, it's about which categories will have a vote split problem for Succession and which won't. And I'm sort of thinking it might end up like The Crown last year, which is that it won't. So I'm going with Harriet Walter here, especially with her nomination last year. Of the three Succession women here, I feel like she is the natural choice.
And who do you have in second? I'm just curious.
I have Lee Yu-mi in second in the event of that vote split. I think she'll take advantage of that if that happens.
And Denton?
I have Lee Yu-mi winning. And I would love to see her win. She won our Gold Derby Award, so we know she's capable of pulling off something, and she's very charming in her acceptance speech. So she's good at wooing those voters. Like you said, you have three Succession actresses here, and to be fair, that's happened before, and someone has won. So it's not, they're not dead in the water just because there's multiple nominations. And I do have Harriet Walter in second place, but I'm going with Lee Yu-mi here.
It's interesting if you look at the Gold Derby odds, Harriet Walter is in first for Succession, and the other two Successions are way at the bottom with only 22 people and 7 people predicting them. So according to the odds, there won't be a traditional vote split because Harriet Walter is the perceived front runner. That said, I may switch to Lee Yu-mi. She really stands out here. She had that great Marbles episode toward the end of the season of Squid Game. And Squid Game is going to win something. Yeah. We already know Succession is going to win a lot, on the main ceremony. And Squid Game was such a popular show. It's the most watched show in Netflix history. I think it's going to win something big, and this may be one of the biggest. This and maybe directing, maybe lead actor. But I think I'm going to switch to Lee Yu-mi.
I know we're not talking about like the main acting races right now, but if Lee Yu-mi wins, will it affect your predictions the next week for Lee Jung-jae or anyone?
I don't think so, because I am going with Bob Odenkirk for lead actor. I'm not switching that. It's half hoping and half thinking it'll happen. The one I could see Squid Game winning on the main show would be directing, and I think it could win that whether or not Lee Yu-mi wins here. Is that it? We're done talking about drama guest actress? I guess so. Drama guest actor. We have Coleman Domingo, Euphoria. From Succession, Alexander Skarsgård, Adrian Brody, James Cromwell, and Arian Moayed. And then Tom Pelphrey for Ozark, getting in for a flashback when he should have gotten in for season 3. I'm still not over that, Emmys. Denton, who do you have here? The odds, I just want to say the odds have Coleman Domingo winning.
I have Coleman Domingo winning, and I think it is because of the Succession split, and maybe there's not a clear front runner, maybe as much as there is on the women's side there. But Tom Pelphrey, it reminds me of Claire Foy. It reminds me of Ben Mendelsohn. Like, are they just going to throw an Emmy at him because they should have before? Maybe. So I actually have him in second place. And I would be tempted to pick him, just not because this wasn't his season in the limelight, but just because they think they should have picked him before. But for now, I still have Coleman Domingo, and we'll see how much they really like Euphoria.
Daniel?
Yeah, I'm going with Coleman Domingo here too, based on the theory that this is going to be a succession vote split. This is the one place we saw The Crown lose last year, and it lost to an unlikely source. It lost to Courtney B. Vance for Lovecraft Country. So, yeah, I think Coleman Domingo will win this one. But yeah, I'm not ruling out any of the Succession guys. I'm not ruling out Tom Pelphrey. Honestly, if any of these 6 wins, I'll be like, yeah, okay, that makes sense.
Whereas the guest actress does not seem to have a vote split for Succession, according to the odds, this one does, because Skarsgård, Brody, Cromwell, and Moyet are all within 80 votes of each other. So the people predicting this category clearly don't know which one is the front runner. There's a lot of splits here. So that is possibly going to influence my decision. I do have Alexander Skarsgård winning right now because his character was so, over the top memorable, but I may switch to Coleman Domingo. Coleman's been on Euphoria since season 1, and he was even in that, in between season 1 and 2, there was a special where he was like the lead of that special with Zendaya, and I could totally see him winning this now that I'm thinking about it. And I may actually do a switcheroo here before the ceremony airs. But yeah, if a Succession person wins, I think it's Skarsgård. So comedy guest actress, we have Jane Lynch, Only Murders in the Building. She won our Gold Derby Award a couple weeks ago. We have Harriet Walter for Ted Lasso. And then we have 4 Hacks ladies: Laurie Metcalf, Harriet Sansom Harris, Jane Addams, Caitlin Olsen. And once again, the 4 Hacks ladies are kind of all in the same sort of area in terms of our odds, within about 100 votes of each other. Jane Lynch is way, way, way out front. And I'm predicting her. I think both of you are as well, Denton.
Yeah, I think I have Jane Lynch. This will be her 6th Emmy, I think. So, I mean, they love her. They also love Hacks, clearly, and they love Laurie Metcalf. Laurie Metcalf is the clear frontrunner among the Hacks women, but I think Only Murders has been so well received, and Jane Lynch has this category to herself. She's not competing with anyone from her own show. Clearly, the TV Academy loves her, so she's hard to bet against. I'm curious to see how Only Murders performs just overall. I mean, they could surprise. These comedy races are crazy. I think they could go a lot of different ways in a lot of different categories, including comedy series and directing and writing. So I'm going with Jane Lynch here, though.
It was also airing season 2 while voting for season 1 was going on, which doesn't really affect the guest races too much, but in other races it will affect it. Daniel, what do you think of this category?
Yeah, I've got Jane Lynch. She's quietly entering that Allison Janney and Julia Louis-Dreyfus territory of, if you see her name on a ballot, don't bet against her. Again, this will be her 6th Emmy. She won this category for Marvelous Mrs. Maisel a couple of years ago. And she doesn't have any co-stars that she's up against. So yeah, I'm going Jane Lynch.
It's almost a blessing in disguise that she was in too many episodes of Mrs. Maisel this year to qualify as guest. So she had to submit a supporting there, because she probably would have got nominated for Maisel also. And then I wonder what we would do if we see 2 Jane Lynches. Like, would she have split her own vote? Maya
Rudolph beat herself, so.
Yeah, that's true. I also want to point out that Jane Lynch's character, she plays Steve Martin's stunt double. It's the funniest episode of season 1 and very well deserving if she wins this. Okay, comedy guest actor. The odds have Nathan Lane winning for Only Murders. He also won the Gold Derby Award. And the other nominees, Jared Carmichael, SNL, the only SNL person up this year in guest star, actor or actress. We also have Bill Hader, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Sam Richardson, and James Lance, both from Ted Lasso. and the only Hacks guy, Christopher McDonald. Daniel, what do you think?
I've got Nathan Lane. I think this category really set itself up nicely for him because I don't see a clear alternative to him among these other nominees. Could be Christopher McDonald just because of how much the acting branch loves Hacks. Could be Gerard Carmichael because of, SNL does really well in guest categories, even though they didn't do that well in the nominations. He got in, so maybe that was the hardest part. And plus he has his comedy special that he's also going to have a lot of goodwill from. Bill Hader's another big year with Barry, in addition to his guest role in Curb Your Enthusiasm. I don't think the Ted Lasso guys have much of a chance because there are two of them, and I'm not sure which of them gets more support.
Denton.
Yeah, I pretty much completely agree with Daniel on everything that he just said. I have Nathan Lane winning. Gerard, I think, is going to be, as far as I'm predicting, he'll be celebrated elsewhere in terms of my predictions, but not in this race. Again, Bill Hader, big year for him, but Curb Your Enthusiasm is not what people are thinking about this year with the return of Barry. So I think this is Nathan Lane's to lose. It's a sixth. He's lost this 6 times, or a 6th nomination. So it's time to reward him.
I was just looking at that. He lost for Frasier, Mad About You, 3 times for Modern Family, and then he was also in the drama guest for The Good Wife. Like, I can't believe Nathan Lane does not have an Emmy. That blows my mind. It's time, folks. Like, where are the billboards? It's time for Nathan Lane to win an Emmy. His character too was very influential in the first season. He was in multiple episodes. So it's not kind of like a throwaway character. He was a very important character. For second place, I do have Christopher McDonald because they love Hacks and because this is kind of a veteran. These guest stars often are veteran achievement awards.
It's the character actor factor. Peter Scolari. You can never rule that out.
Yeah, Gerald McCraney had never even been nominated, if I remember correctly, until This Is Us, and he won. And Ron Cephas Jones over in drama, of course. But I could see Christopher McDonald doing this. It's really good for him that he's the only Hacks guy here too. Okay,
I'm moving mine around right now. I just moved Christopher up to 2nd, so let's see.
But we all have Nathan Lane winning, right? Okay. Now, one of the categories that is probably, not one that a lot of people talk about, and we're going to talk about it now, Best TV Movie. It used to be, one of the premier categories on the Emmys, and now it's at the Creative Arts, and no one seems to care too much about this one, but we care at Gold Derby. And the nominees are The Survivor, Chippendale Rescue Rangers, Ray Donovan the Movie, Zoe's Extraordinary Christmas, and Reno 911, The Hunt for QAnon. That is 4 TV show movies, movies based on TV shows, and one that was going to be an Oscar contender until it went to TV, The Survivor.
The wildest list of 5 nominees in any category you could possibly have listed.
I know, it's mind-boggling that some of these got in here. I think we all have The Survivor. I don't know what would even be in 2nd place, honestly.
I am so tempted to switch to Chippendale, though. A lot of people have Chippendale. It's close. A lot of our editors, a lot of our colleagues are picking Chippendale to win this. I don't think it's a case closed for The Survivor, but The Survivor is really the only serious movie. If this was, 10 years ago, I would say, like, there's no doubt in my mind, but Chippendale, it has every nostalgic Disney character you can think of, and I'm a little concerned about that one's surprising and me not calling it.
Daniel?
Yeah, I've got The Survivor, and I think if The Survivor loses, it should be a wake-up call to anyone who acquires a film. Give it a qualifying run. Just give it a qualifying run, because this movie was talked about for Oscars, and we're talking about it losing the Emmy to Chippendale Rescue Rangers. Do not let your movies languish at the Emmys anymore. Like 10,
Yeah.
15 years ago, this would have been nominated for 15 Emmys. But like voters just aren't paying attention to TV movies anymore. So just like, even if it's like February, March, April, give it a qualifying run, because you're going to have a better chance of getting attention at the Oscars no matter what than getting attention from the Emmys in today's climate. Just do not let what happened to the Survivor happen to another potential awards contender.
I think of these 5 nominees, the only one with a second nomination, is it Zoe for choreography? I don't think the other.
I believe that is the only one with another nomination.
That just boggles my mind. I can't wait for Black Mirror to come back. I believe it's in production now. We need something substantial in this TV movie race. Where's Ryan Murphy?
But Black Mirror, I believe, under the current rules, would be forced into the anthology or limited series category.
Oh, you're right. Oh no. What if they just do one though?
That's what everyone's in though.
Where's Ryan Murphy to reinvent the TV movie category like he did limited series a decade ago? Like, we need new blood here. Someone needs to do something to this category.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to something a little more exciting. Main title design. I'm not joking. I love this category.
Just the same thing.
The nominees are Only Murders in the Building, Severance, Pachinko, Foundation, Candy, Cowboy Bebop, and Lacey's Story. This one, according to the odds, is kind of a two-way race between Only Murders, which is in first, and Severance, which is in second. Denton, what do you think?
I have Severance. I think, and I'm optimist that like voters here will either abstain or actually watch. So I just watched them all.
Yeah,
and judged for myself. That's sort of how I ranked them. Is I think Severance to me was the most sort of inventive and had that combination of being from a show that's well liked by the Academy. It's quirky, it's a little creepy. And next I have Pachinko, just because it's fun and funny and a little off the wall. And then third place I actually have Lacey's Story, which is this its only nomination. I mean, I don't know if anyone, I don't think it's been nominated for anything else, but
this is the category where shows win on their only nomination.
Right. But it's this weird sort of puppets, like, I mean,
it's creepy, Denton. I watched it was creepy.
Yes, but that's the kind of, but for me, like Only Murders, it was like a cute illustration, but I don't know why that is leading our odds. I mean, no disrespect to it, but I don't have Only Murders winning this one. I think for music, Only Murders has a better chance. Main title design, I'm going with Severance.
I agree with what you said about Only Murders. It is kind of a simplistic animation. That's why I have Severance winning. It's also a little creepy, like Lacey's Story is, but it's creepy in a good way, if that makes sense. Daniel, what do you think?
I was going with the odds, but you guys just convinced me to go with Severance. This is a category where voters are watching. And even if it weren't, Severance does have a lot of support from the Academy. So yeah, I'm going with Severance.
As much as I love the Pachinko credits, I don't know why it's in design, because it's basically people dancing in a casino. But I love it.
I mean, Stranger Things won this category, strangely enough, for just like zooming in on the logo. It's one of the strangest winners of this category.
It is. And you mentioned that sometimes shows win on their only nomination. I think, didn't Good Lord Bird win this last year on its only nomination?
Yeah, I think so. And this show Manhattan, I think, won this, about the Manhattan Project. So yeah, this is a category where they do not care. If it's a good title sequence, they will give it the award.
It's also if you're a voter, this is an easy category to do your research. It takes maybe less than 10 minutes to watch all the nominees. Same with the next one, main title theme music. We have The White Lotus, which is winning the odds. Then Only Murders in the Building, Severance, Loki, and Squid Game. This one, I may just go with the odds, also because I agree that it is the best theme music. Kind of that Hawaiian percussion song. theme that it's so good, and it's you also hear that theme throughout the show as well, which I think helps. Daniel, what do you think?
Yeah, I'm going with White Lotus. I'm going with the odds here. I am terrible on music. Like if I watch a movie and you ask me what the score was like, I'm like, there was a score? I like it works so subliminally on me that I almost never pick up on music unless I actually make a point to go on like Spotify and listen to the score back. And then I'm often dazzled. But and I realized, oh, that's how I was having that effect on me. So I'm mostly going on the odds in music categories, mostly. So I've got White Lotus here.
And Denton?
I'm going with Severance on this one. I think the Severance is the haunting music. It's sort of always in the background. When I think of the White Lotus, I just don't think of the music. It's not the first thing that comes to mind. When I think of Severance, it's one of the first things that comes to mind. And I went to a Severance event and they were just playing it overhead in the background. And it's like ingrained in my mind. So maybe they just, got in there but I'm going with Severance and White Lotus. And then I have Only Murders in third place, but I think that's a close three-way race. I'm curious to see how much the Academy really loves Severance. And I think this is really the only place Severance and White Lotus face off. So it'll be interesting to see where they go, because it's sort of the two new shows they were excited about.
To me, I think Only Murders has a really good shot here. I have it in second behind White Lotus. And Only Murders is up for design and music for main titles. So I think, it could win both. Same with Severance. It could win both. It'll be interesting because we don't have a lot of categories where dramas and comedies and limited series all compete against each other. So what would this mean if one of these front runners wins? What would it mean for other categories?
Yeah.
So we have a few more music categories to do. Let's do music for series. The nominees are Succession, Severance, Only Murders in the Building, Schmigadoon, Loki, and The Flight Attendant. And Nicholas Bertel for Succession. He won this last time he was eligible. Is that right? I don't have the list in front of me.
I believe so.
I will look it up. Daniel, give us your thoughts on this one.
I am predicting Succession under the assumption that it won last time it was eligible. If it's not, I might be switching in the next couple of minutes.
He did lose to Mandalorian.
But Mandalorian's not here.
Right. But I think Succession won main titles for him. Main title.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah, Mandalorian's won this twice in a row, but you're right, it's not up. So what's going to take over?
So I'm going to go with Succession for likely dominance. Or this is a category where I could see something like Loki surprising. I have a feeling the Marvel shows, like Loki's got 6 nominations, Moon Knight has 8 nominations. I have a feeling they'll win 1 or 2 between them at least. So this could be a place.
Denton, what about you?
Yeah, I have Severance. So I agree with Daniel though. Like I'm almost tempted to just pick Loki, just because I don't know what's going to win this at all. Succession is the front runner. That's probably the smart choice. I don't know. This could go anyway, but I'm just kind of picking Severance across the board on these categories. It's a little bit of a hope diction for me. But I wonder if Loki should be a little up higher on that list, because it is true that those Marvel series do well here.
I'm just going to stick with Succession. There's a lot of good music here. I'm just going to go with the one that's the front runner, even though he did lose to Mandalorian. Mandalorian is not up this year. Okay, so music for limited series. We have The White Lotus, Station 11, Moon Knight, 1883, and A Very British Scandal. Denton, what do you think?
I don't think there's a specific limited series category that I voted against White Lotus. So that includes this as well. I just, for anything that's specific to limited series, I'm going with a White Lotus sweep. Just because if they lose something, I feel like I'll pick the wrong one that they lose. So White Lotus here for me.
I'm going with White Lotus as well. Daniel?
White Lotus for me too. Although again, I've got the Marvel nominee in a close second place because I think WandaVision won for its no, that was Queen's Gambit again. So
Yes.
yeah, I'm sticking with White Lotus.
Yeah, Queen's Gambit won last year. 2 years ago was Watchmen from HBO. But 3 years ago it was Chernobyl. And it's very interesting. Okay, we're chugging along here. Music and lyrics. Actually, let me get a different list where it has the song titles. Okay, so we have Euphoria for Elliot's song. We have Euphoria for I'm Tired. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Maybe Monica, Schmigadoon, Corn Puddin', and This Is Us, The Forever Now. And that was the song that Mandy Moore sang during the wedding episode. Daniel, what do you think about this one? Euphoria has won this before, but now there's two Euphorias.
Yeah, I am going out on a limb and picking one of the Euphorias. I can't remember which off the top of my head. I'm looking up the list of everything with the titles just so I can look up which, because I think the fact that it has so many more nominations this year and it's well liked for music, like it's done well in nominations and it has won this before. And Zendaya is one of the songwriters, so that's a chance to give Zendaya another Emmy. So I'm going with Euphoria, and I'll let you know which one in a minute.
Yeah, because in the Prediction Center, we have the episode titles. So the song titles are Elliot's song, and that's actually, they're both co-written by Zendaya and Labyrinth.
Yeah.
But Elliot's song is from the episode All My Life, and then I'm Tired.
That's the one I got.
Yeah, I think Elliot's song is the stronger one. That's the one where he's kind of serenades her with the guitar. And then I'm Tired was the one in the church. That's from the episode You Who Cannot See. Denton?
I have Schmigadoon right now just because it's the musical. And Corn Puddin' is just sort of a fun song. I mean, this is a category that Dick in the Box won, like at one point. So I don't think that, like, they don't take things too seriously, but I'm so tempted to just go with This Is Us. I mean, is this finally like a goodbye hug? Do they feel bad at all for how badly they treated the show for its final season? Or is it just going to be like one extra middle finger, like goodbye instead? I don't know, but that song was co-written by Mandy Moore's husband. So if she doesn't win an Emmy, maybe he can win an Emmy. So I'm really tempted to switch to This Is Us. Right now I have Schmigadoon.
I did have This Is Us winning for a long time. This Euphoria vote split is very troubling to me because I don't know if it'll even matter. And if it doesn't matter, which one will they go with? I really don't know what to do. Luckily, Zendaya will win either way because she's a co-writer on both. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, the song Maybe Monica, I had a hard time finding it online. So I don't really know if that was just me. Am I bad at Googling? And then Corn Puddin' from Schmigadoon, they promoted the heck out of this. Apple did. So if money matters, if ads actually matter, that could win.
You know, I'm starting to think maybe Corn Puddin' because I was like thinking, Corn Puddin' is the song they went with for Schmigadoon, the song they submitted. It seemed like an odd choice for the song. And I'm thinking, is that substantial enough to win? And then I remember Dick in a Box. I remember Agatha All Along. That song is short. I thought they were going to give that one to Bo Burnham last year. So yeah, I might switch to Corn Puddin'.
Yeah, I think you guys may be right on Corn Puddin'. They also sent actual Corn Puddin' to some voter or some members of the press. I think I'm going to go with that.
I was at an event where there was Corn Puddin' everywhere, like little appetizer bowls of Corn Puddin'. So it is what they want to be known for.
My heart really wants This Is Us to win this, though, but
I'm with you there.
Who knows? And the final category we will talk about is music supervision. We're kind of ending on a obvious note, I feel like Best Music Supervision is
Not as obvious as you think.
I totally disagree. I think this is one of the categories where you could, bet $1 million and you could be right. Daniel, what do you think is winning? Because I
Oh
think it's
no, I think it's Stranger Things too, but I don't think it's locked.
okay.
We're talking about Stranger Things has never won this. It's been nominated 4 times now. Marvelous Mrs. Maisel has won this 4 times. So
But
I'm
what's the
always worried
difference.
about Maisel. I'm always worried about Maisel. Euphoria is popular with the music branch as well, so that's possible. I will say, if Stranger Things doesn't win this, I will riot, because
Yeah.
no TV show has had a moment in the zeitgeist with specifically music supervision the way that Stranger Things has had, with not only Running Up That Hill, but then Metallica in the finale, which isn't eligible for this as it aired after the cutoff, but voters are still going to be aware of it. If it doesn't win, I will be mad, but I can see it potentially not winning, just because for whatever reason, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel has been a juggernaut in this. So we'll see.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, including, this is the year that Stranger Things went above and beyond specifically for its music supervision. Like the songs that were chosen, which, I don't really know how it works. I'm sure those songs were in the script, and then the music supervisor had to approve that. I
did talk to the music supervisor as part of a panel on Stranger Things. The song wasn't in the script, the Running Up That Hill. It was like sort of in the script as Max's song, and they were going to figure it out. And she came up with Running Up That Hill. So
there you go.
And then they had to get the rights from Kate Bush, who luckily was a fan of the show and loved the usage of it in the show, the idea. So they got a rare Kate Bush song that is, as of we're recording this, still in the top 5 on the charts.
Denton, what do you think?
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good reason to pick that. Stranger Things. I don't know if there's been, like Daniel said, like a moment in TV, at least in the last decade, that is so synonymous with music supervision and a TV show. I mean, I can't think of anything. Maybe if we went back to like the 90s, we could think of something, but so for me, it's so obvious. Like Daniel said, anything can happen, but as far as I'm concerned, they should also give Kate Bush an Emmy that she's not qualified for. I mean, they should just, it's the best supervision period. So Stranger Things.
I think if the Emmy producers are smart, they would reach out to Kate Bush and have her sing that song on the Emmy telecast.
Or any telecast. Has she? Where is she? I'm not sure.
I don't know.
I feel like any award show would want her at this point.
Yeah. And Daniel, you mentioned Metallica is eligible next year, but so how does this work? So they only have 2 episodes eligible next year. Will it have to go? It can be eligible for some of the creative categories, but not drama series. Is that how that works?
I believe it will have to. It'll be like what happened with Handmaid's Tale and Euphoria. Those episodes, those orphaned episodes, as they're called, will compete in episodes that are like episode specific for those categories, and possibly music supervision. I'm not sure. If TV movies can compete for music supervision, I'm sure that 2 episodes can, but not drama series, not like regular series acting. I don't believe. Guest acting, yes, I think.
Because Cherry
Jones did win for one of those orphaned episodes, so it can get nominated next year. Although, and you never, like, in the unlikely event that season 5 is ready and they premiere it in time for next year, which I think is very unlikely, like then they'd all be eligible and it could get into drama series and all that again.
So since there are 2 episodes, how does the 50% guest star rule work? Like no one's eligible for guest stars?
I don't know how that works. I feel like they should make a special exemption. Like if you're in one of those episodes, like, and you weren't in any of the previous season, though I'm not sure if that anyone qualifies for that, you should be eligible for guest. But I'm not sure they would have that issue anyway, because, you know, Robert Englund was really their big guest star and he was already eligible. Most of everybody who's in the final episodes was in the rest of the season, as far as I know.
Well, does anyone have any final thoughts on the Creative Arts Emmys?
No, they're going to be exciting because these are where upsets can happen a lot more frequently, and it's going to be fun to see how this all plays out and see how people change their votes once these happen. And don't get too crazy, because a lot of people change a lot of predictions after the Creative Arts, and then it can bite you in the ass.
And it's where we can see where the wind is blowing, because I remember last year it seemed like, is it going to be WandaVision? Is it going to be Mare of Easttown? Is it going to be the Queen's Gambit? And then Creative Arts happened, and it's like, oh, it's Queen's Gambit. It just like locked it completely up because it won everything that wasn't tied down. Because
of that, I switched. I had Kate Winslet, and I'm like, oh, Queen's Gambit just won everything at the Creative Arts. So I switched to her. And of course,
I did too.
Kate Winslet. Well, thank you everyone for watching. Stick with Gold Derby throughout Emmy season. We're going to be doing more Slugfest as we get closer to the actual ceremony on September 12th. And go make your predictions right now. There's still time to make your Creative Arts predictions as well as your Primetime Emmy predictions.